I like to say that there's nothing that CBD does that won't be enhanced by at least having a tiny amount of THC. So the two synergize together. They work as an ensemble that's better than either one alone. THC on its own is a lousy drug that's poorly tolerated. There are vested interests on both sides. I'm a firm believer in whole plant and extracts and the entourage. Whereas, it's expedient for some people to think in terms of synthetics or single molecules as treatments. But when we're dealing with complex human disorders, it's not always, and most often is not sufficient to have one target and one molecule treating it. Yeah, it is a proven efficacy. It's just that we have gas station CBD and online CBD. And as you mentioned, a lot of these preparations really don't have enough that we would think that they're really doing the job. If, however, people take them and feel better, they're going to continue to buy them.
And very much follow the train of thought by Dr. Ethan Russo, who has been really an inspiration in a lot of my work. We have to think of all of the cannabis components. We cannot just think of CBD, THC, and acidic cannabinoids. We have to think of terpenes, we have to think of flavonoids, we have to think of amino acids. The entourage effect and the final effect on your body is a combination of what you have in the entourage that you derive from the plant, how you intake it, and how your body metabolizes it. So when you think of the entourage effect, think about everything that you intake and that could potentially affect your endocannabinoid system.
There are studies that give scientific proof that the synergistic relationship between all of the cannabis components has been shown to increase the healing properties of each.
So that is isolate. Isolates are the least expensive form of CBD, and isolates are also the least effective form of CBD. And when I say least effective, as you begin to research and study CBD, you will hear a term called the entourage effect, a term that truthfully was unfamiliar to me before I began to really study CBD. But the entourage effect comes from research that was largely done in Israel, where when CBD is combined with other cannabinoids, naturally occurring cannabinoids, the overall effect of the product is far superior than CBD by itself.
We have the situation now where many people are producing CBD isolates. There was recently a meta-analysis. This is a situation in which someone reviews the literature and crunches all the numbers from multiple studies together to create an overall impression. So Fabrizio Pamplona did this in relation to a comparison between CBD as a pure drug versus CBD as an extract in treatment of severe epilepsy. What they found was that although there could be comparable levels of efficacy, that it would work for seizures about the same, the doses required for the CBD extracts with other components included were about 20% of what was required with CBD alone. And the side effects were much lower because at very, very high doses in combination with other drugs, CBD can produce some drug-drug interactions that you just don't see at the lower doses when it's a whole plant medicine, so that's a factor. Now, what about the situation of using either a pure cannabinoid or a cannabis extract and then adding terpenoids from an outside source? Well, I'm really against this. First, it's often done with synthetic terpenoids from a chemical producer that were never designed for human consumption. And they might be 95% pure, but We don't know
That
what
5% is important, yeah.
it could be. We don't know what it is and what its potential toxicity could be. Additionally, we don't know that it's going to be the same stereoisomer that cannabis produces. Molecules have three-dimensional structures, and if it's turned the wrong way, if it's the mirror image, it can have a totally different effect.
Wow. As somebody who I know is very much into whole plant, what are your thoughts on trying to get to those goals of customized cannabis medicine through isolates instead of through growing whole plants in one plant?
Well, to me, that approach is a little bit backwards. It is clear that the cannabis plant has a very plastic genome. This is a way of saying that you can make it do anything if you take the time to selectively breed it for specific components and combinations that you want. This has been amply demonstrated. That's always going to be better.
Cannabis sativa contains several hundred compounds, including various flavonoids, terpenes, and many other cannabinoids in addition to CBD. Each of these compounds have unique therapeutic benefits, and when combined, they create what scientists refer to as a holistic entourage effect, so that the therapeutic impact of the whole plant is greater than that of the sum of the single molecule counterparts.